We came so far from dreams. The path was hard for me. They thought we fall in sin. Well, look at us now, look at us now. We make it hot when we on the scene. Yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team. Yeah, you know we gon' eat. We see the crowds when we come around. You know that I roll with some kings. We sit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we. Tell me who better than we. We soaring to places you never could reach. When we walk in that spot, don't hear none of you speak. Shh, do you want peace or the peace? A king about to put you to sleep. Listen, my team is elite. You not even qualified to compete. He starving, he barely can eat. I guess that's why he always itching for beef. So I put him on ice and I told him to chill. Close your mouth if you can't pay for the meal. Making statements that you know you don't mean. Nice guy trying to act like he mean. Keep it a buck, keep it a bean. Attitudes will put you dudes in the beam. Isekai, he don't live in reality. Shake back, all become a fatality. Yeah, how you gon' hate when you mirror us? He think he a star, he ain't serious. X him out, we not on the same frequency. If you broke, you ain't hearing us. Work the screw, anime, that's how I feel, period. We winning, that's making them furious. We make it high when we on the scene, yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team, yeah, you know we gon' eat. We see the crowds when we come around, you know that I roll with some kings. We sit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we.
Yo, what it do, guys? It is your boy, Leon Mookie here, back with you with another new part of What If Izuku Was Clive Rossfield's Reincarnation. Man, this is part 2. In the last part, I went on how Izuku is slowly gaining the abilities and memories of Clive Rossfield after his death, as his life is pretty similar as always been in canon. However, the only difference being is that Izuku has that of a twin brother by the name of Mizuki, who has a quirk called that of Mortal Flames, which a fire quirk that basically allows him to heal people as well, as the two are basically close, best buddies and best friends, to be honest. However, everything changed on their 10th birthday when they were caught up in that of a villain attack between that of a huge man by the name of Buster, and the other by the name and a fast man, but by the name of Six. With as the heroes trying their best to protect the civilians and take down the villains, however, it does nothing until one moment Izuku awakens the power of Ifrit and semi-primes and basically takes down both villains without even breaking a sweat, until he fully primed into Ifrit itself, within almost close to killing the villain, until Mizuki basically spoke up trying to reach his brother, which he ended up doing. And now, what will fate in toll for Izuku? So, with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? Now waking up in the hospital, as it's been at least out of a week, as Izuku was told to stay overnight stay a week. It's mainly for multiple reasons. First reason is for him to properly heal up. Second reason, they want to test his quirk, even though Izuku was already aware that his flames are not technically a quirk. It's mimic. It's basically supposed to fool technology to believe that it's a quirk, but in reality, it's magic itself. And last but not least, two other things that kind of became a bit of a problem. Bringing up the first problem being the HPSC. Currently in the hospital room with Inko, Mizuki, and Hisashi, who's also fully woken up, but with bandages over his head though, as the HPSC officers basically wanting to talk to Inko and Hisashi about Izuku and about his actions during that day, with one of the agents saying, "Mr. and Mrs. Midoriya, I understand that's how you feel, but to be honest, your son did something quite amazing and quite illegal as well." With then Inko saying, "You can't blame a 10-year-old for awakening his quirk in such a traumatic moment." With then soon the other agent saying, "And we can't and we don't. If anything, a quirk like his a fire quirk that could be possibly on the same level as Endeavor at his age. Now that's something you don't see every day. And we don't want to see a good boy who has a great potential of being a hero in the future to be snuffed out just like that, just because of, well, be using illegal quirk usage against villains after all. If anything, the boy should be more lucky the fact that both villains aren't dead. The villain known as Six, a few of his lungs were punctured, and a few organs were also having that of somewhat burns as well. Did suffer a few burns, but he's still alive. In a coma, but alive. As for Buster, well, I don't think he's going to be winning any beauty contest anytime soon, young man. You did a number quite a bit on his face and his body too. With then Izuku looking down, feeling regretful about what he did. However, he doesn't regret defending his family though. He's just regretful that he had to do it. Or rather, that he lost control and did it. With then Mitsuki saying, "Hey, stop being mean to my brother. He didn't do anything wrong. And I know that he almost came close to basically ending that villain's life, but he didn't. So why are you still trying to make my brother seem like he's a villain?" With then Inko saying, "Mizuki." With then Hisashi saying, "No, Inko, our son's right. You are the Hero Public Safety Commission. Mainly, your duty is to look after heroes, not civilians. Why is it that you're really here? And please stop beating around the bush." With then both agents look at each other, but then realizing he's not a businessman for nothing, even if he is not really much, even though he's just a typical salary man. With then one of the agents clearing his throat, saying, "Well, to be frank, we're here because we wish to invite Izuku Midoriya to train his quirk, and if he does well, he can basically skip all of the all the schools needed to be that of a pro hero, and be a pro hero soon after finishing training." With then hearing this, both Izuku and Mizuki couldn't help but be shocked and surprised, as part of them could be happy. However, on Izuku, on the other hand, even though he basically wants to be a hero more than anything, he doesn't know why, but this offer doesn't seem right. Within, Mizuki saying, "Did you hear that, Izuku? They want to help you become a hero, and you don't have to go to school to do it. Isn't that great?" Within, Izuku saying, "Yeah, but..." Within, soon, Hisashi saying, "Hold on now. What's the catch?" With then, the other agent speak up saying, "The catch is, we want Izuku Midoriya to be under the HPSC. We want you to relieve all custody over your child to us, and we'll take good care of him to make sure that he's well trained to be a hero that he wants to be." Well, isn't that great? With then, soon Inko saying, "Out of the question!" With then, as Izuku was about to say the same thing, even Mizuki, hearing the fact that he won't be able to see his brother ever again, basically was about to shout the same thing. Hisashi, seeing his wife beat him to the punch, Hisashi couldn't help but smile at Inko. With then saying, "You really want to take my baby into being a hero? By basically taking away even his childhood as well?" With then the agent saying, "Ma'am, with all due respect, this world needs great heroes such as your son. A powerful fire quirk such as this doesn't come around all that often." Within, the other agent spoke up saying, "And speaking of childhood, if I recall, the boy was thought to be quirkless almost throughout his entire young life. It would be shocking to believe that he hasn't been bullied in a while. Don't you all agree?" With then, soon, Izuku looking down alongside Mizuki, even Hisashi couldn't help but grit his teeth in that of pure hatred. Within, soon, the agent saying, "His childhood isn't what's important right now. It's his future that's important. And him just being here is wasting his potential." So, before he could finish, the door slides open pretty roughly before somebody spoke up saying, then allow me to look after him instead. With then, soon, looking into seeing the doorway, both Izuku and Mizuki couldn't help but be shocked, surprised, and excited. As in front of the doorway is the number 2 pro of Japan, Endeavor. Fiery beard and mask and all the way. With then, soon, and Hasashi could up and say, Endeavor, what do we owe the pleasure here, sir? It's truly an honor. And then soon, scoffing at the man, within soon, looking at the agent saying, I see what you're trying to do here. Trying to recruit more people to your cause. With then soon, one of the agents saying, Endeavor, sir, we did not know that you would come to the Midoriyas, to be honest. Guessing you just wanted to look after the victim, saying, no, not really. I only came here because of the boy, and hearing your offer, I also realized that this isn't going to work, that it was never going to work out for you, to be honest. With then, hearing this, but the agents couldn't help but sweat bullets, with an Endeavor saying, if your government branch wants to start training young heroes and skip the legal way for them to become pros, and just by that of just mere training alone, then you have another thing coming. Not to mention, let's also forget that Lady Nagant, your little HPS pro hero, has barely been in the public eye for the past couple of months. So, are you trying to replace her now, by any chance? With then hearing all this, they couldn't help but be a little bit, nervous, especially given that they already do have somebody that's already replacing her. They're just that being Keigo Takamaki, the future number 3 pro hero, Hawks, as they're just preparing for, just in case he does the same as Nagant and goes rogue or plans on killing another agent as well. With then soon, both agents saying, well, you see, Endeavor, I'm giving you an option. Either leave now, or I basically turn you into Crips, or I basically try to arrest you for harassing a Japanese family for trying to recover from a villain attack. Your choice. What will it be? With then hearing the threat from the number 2 hero, realizing that he can actually do it, because Endeavor doesn't really give a damn about his, reputation. All he cares about is being the strongest after all. So knowing this, they couldn't help but take this loss. And Lee saying, with them, one of the agents saying, just remember what we said, Mr. and Mrs. Midoriya. Young Izuku's future is on the line here. With then soon them closing the door, as then Endeavor couldn't help but scoff, saying, thought they would never leave. Before looking back at Izuku with Mizuki right by his side, thinking, twins, huh? With then soon, Endeavor, without any warning, basically turns down his flaming beard and removes that of his fiery mask as well, showing that of his normal face. With then, Hasashi saying, never change, do you, Enji? Always aggressive as hell, don't you? With then, Enji looking at that of Hasashi saying, well, you can't blame me. Dealing with government stooges end up being more of an annoyance than anything. I'd rather have my sidekicks handle them than myself. With soon, Inko saying, Hasashi, what's going on here? But then Hasashi saying, right. Apologies, dear. Allow me to fully introduce you. This is Enji Todoroki. The public knows him as the number 2 hero, Endeavor. But to me, he's an old friend back in the day. With then soon, Inko saying, you were friends with that of a pro hero? Especially the number 2 hero? Within both Izuku and even Misaki couldn't help but be shocked and surprised, with starstruck looking at their father. Within, Enji couldn't help but scoff, saying, more like acquaintances. When it comes to being a pro hero, having a life outside of being a pro is easier said than done. So it's better to have that of to start early on before being a pro takes precedence. With then hearing this, Izuku and Mizuki couldn't help but look down a bit, thinking if they become pros, will they not be able to spend time with their parents as much, or maybe their friends? Well, what friends that they do have left, given that some of them probably still think Izuku's quirkless. Within Enji speaking, saying, I'm going to make this abundantly clear. The media is having a field day with this. Within Inko saying, we know. Every time when we leave the hospital, everybody wants to know about Izuku and how powerful his quirk is. Some reporters even dug up about him being quirkless, and yet now with then soon Mizuki saying a lot of people thought that Izuku was basically pretending to be quirkless, even though we all knew that he was. Even an old friend of ours that we used to spend time with started berating and calling Izuku a liar and pretending not to be quirkless. Even told me that I was basically a jerk for hiding it. But then Izuku realizing it was Kachan, wasn't it? With Mizuki nodding, as then soon Enji speaking of saying, when you leave here, you're probably going to have a lot of media attention on you for a good 2 weeks or so. Boy, your quirk is so powerful. Nobody has seen a powerful fire quirk. It seemed like a mixture of that of a mutant. It seemed like a mixture of all three, which nobody has ever seen. Emitter, transformation, and mutation, which is rare, and I mean beyond rare. So having a quirk like yours is completely out of this world. With soon Inko saying, so what would we do? I don't want to take Izuku out of school, and I don't want to just hide him away, and I especially don't want to just give him up to the government. With then soon Enji saying, that's why I'm offering that of a deal for you too. But then Hasashi couldn't help but narrow his eyes, saying, Enji, it's nothing too major. Just all I wish is to train your son to use his quirk. I want him to be my protege. With that, Izuku and Mizuki couldn't help but be shocked, especially Izuku being trained under the number 2 hero. That's something that most kids would basically die to have. With then soon Enji saying, but allow me to fully explain as well. For example, I don't plan on you don't need to hand custody over to me anything. I don't want him to be part of my family. All I want is to help him improve and train his quirk. From what I saw, I had personal first-hand experience seeing his quirk in action. Not just me, a lot of other pros alongside my sidekicks as well. And with a quirk like his, now it's something else. You don't see the quirk he had was something that you don't see a 10-year-old have. Or even if he was able to, it shouldn't have been this powerful from the start. It also shows that he can't even fully control himself when he's in those forms as well. So I wish to help him control them in any way he can. But I won't do this against his will and behind your backs, especially you, Hasashi. With then hearing all this, both Inko and Hasashi look at each other. With then soon Inko saying, what do you want, Izuku? With then Izuku saying, me? With then she's saying, you want to be a hero, right? And I don't want to give you up. Far from it. You're still my baby more than anything. And I will always love you, quirk or no quirk. But if you want to be a hero, within Izuku saying, I do, but I also want something else. With then hearing this, Izuku looks at Enji Todoroki. With then seeing how intimidating the man still is, even without the flaming beard and, well, mask and everything, he couldn't help but gulp before channeling his inner Clive within, saying, I want Mizuki to join us as well. But if you can't, at least let him come and see us train from time to time too. I don't want him to be left behind just because you train me. With then hearing this from his twin brother, Mizuki couldn't be shocked, saying, Izuku. With then soon looking at the bright blue green haired young boy, with Mizuki getting nervous looking at the man as he's looking straight at him, with then saying, what's your quirk, boy? With then saying, it's a fire quirk called Immortal Flames. It's just like any other fire quirk, but I have the ability to heal people. With then hearing this, and Enji couldn't help but be shocked. With then Hisashi saying, yeah, I was caught off guard too a little while back. But the reason I'm basically here and not basically knocked out is because of my son healing me when I got hit, when I took a nasty hit. And I was only out for at least a good 3 days instead. With then hearing that, Enji couldn't help but place both his thumb and his index finger on his chin, realizing the potential that Mizuki has with a quirk like that. A quirk that can both basically be offensive, but also supportive as well. With then comes into realization saying, alright then, I'll take the boy, but I'll mainly be training the other boy. He can come from time to time if I can give him some pointers on his quirk. How does that sound? Within hearing this, both twins couldn't help but be shocked, excited, and happy that the twin brothers won't be separated and won't be left behind as well. A week later, Izuku arrives at that of a massive, Japanese-style house as this being endeavors home, with Izuku completely and utterly caught off guard at seeing on how massive this house is, as he's never really been at a fully traditional Japanese home, to be honest. He's so used to living in that of a regular modern Japanese home instead. With then soon Hisashi pulling Izuku out of the car, he can up and say, well, Izuku, I'll give you at least some tips on how to deal with Enji, to be honest. With Izuku nodding at his father's words within and saying, he's quite strict, overwhelmingly so. He's a bit of a brooding asshole, but technically he's a good guy deep down. He's just too narrow-minded in his own goals and to see them. But he's not too blind when it comes to seeing that of other people's flaws and helping them improve. Listen to the advice that he has to say about your quirk, and do what you can to get a hold of it. Knowing you'll be the hero that I know you will be. With then hearing the words of encouragement from his father, Izuku couldn't help but smile in happiness before hugging him, and Hisashi hugging Izuku back. With then, as the two Midoriyas walk to the entrance of the home, is Hisashi ringing the doorbell, waiting for at least a good few minutes, with then hearing somebody saying, coming, sorry, with sliding the door open, and then Izuku noticing that of a girl that's physically looks like she's at least in late junior high to that of early high school, as she has that of white hair with a bit of red highlights, square frame glasses, and looking quite nervous, but still trying to have that of a confident facade to her, saying, can I, with them, she's saying, oh, right, Dad said that we would have guests over today, that you must be the Midoriyas. With then Hisashi basically bowing himself alongside that of Izuku, saying, "My name is XVI Midoriya. This is my son, Izuku. I'm pretty sure your old man said that he'll be training Izuku." With then hearing this, the girl couldn't help say, "Oh, right. Let me introduce myself as well. My name is Fumi Todoroki. I'm the second child of the Todoroki family. It's a pleasure to meet you." As a sign of respect, she also bows her head to that of the 10-year-old and patriarch of the Midoriya family, within saying, "You're quite mature for yourself, and you have at least a bit of a, happier tone to you. Are you sure you're Enji's kid?" With then she basically giggling out of nervousness while also realizing that it's supposed to be a joke, and couldn't help but laugh at least a bit, saying, "Yeah, I get that a lot. Anyway, come in. I'll get Dad. I'll lead you guys to that of the dining room for a bit." With then entering in as they remove their shoes, with Izuku looking around, looking at awe at the place as well. With Hisashi can't help but, basically wanting to tease his son, but right now is not the time for that. With then soon entering in that of the dining room, as then Fuyumi went to go and get Endeavor. A few minutes later, Endeavor shows himself, saying, "So, good thing you've come to right on time." With then Izuku seeing that the number 2 pro, still pretty intimidating, but at least got a little bit used to him now. With then Hisashi saying, Enji saying, I know, I won't push the boy too far. After all, he's only here to find a way to control and get better with his quirk. After that, he's free to do whatever the hell he wants. But I wasn't lying. Kid has potential, and it'd be a waste to not see it grow, and not see somebody of his power stagnate. With Izuku feeling somewhat nervous but determined to prove himself, saying, I won't let you down. I'll do whatever I can to control this." With then Izuku saying, I wonder, can I control this? I mean, I could feel it. The power of the Phoenix inside of me, and Ifrit's fire as well. But do I know how to control them? I mean, I only got that of a 10-year-old body. But with then Izuku remember his time as Clive, as he remembered training even before that. Hell, not to mention, even as the years went on, he actually did start training a bit. Not on the same degree and level that he was before, but still. With then Izuku feeling fully reassured of himself, he now having that of a serious look, saying, I won't let you down. I'll give it my all. With that, seeing the determination from the boy, Hisashi couldn't help but smile at his son, while Endeavor couldn't help but have that of a look of amusement. However, on the other hand, Fuyumi, who basically planned on leaving, but hearing the conversation about her dad training Izuku, and given that what she went through, that the training that he put her little brother through, and what led to that of a certain accident that happened about that of 3 years ago, and the other accident that happened 4 years ago, Fuyumi couldn't help but feel somewhat worried for the boy. But then, hearing the determination from his voice, completely different from that of her little brother Shoto, but it almost kind of reminded her of somebody else, but not in that degree, not on the same level as that of her older brother, who was fanatical to the point of wanting to prove that he's capable, but almost like he wants to prove to himself that he's capable. Still worried for him, but not to the same degree as before. She soon walks away. With then Izuku and Endeavor began to train, as Izuku began using his fire as for that of multiple projectiles. As for using his realizing that Endeavor uses his flames a lot for that of range attacks, he wanted to ask if Endeavor knew anything for close range. with then Endeavor basically telling him that he doesn't bother with close range that much. He uses his flames to basically increase that of his attacks by using them as repulsion to increase more an inertia to deal that of more powerful attacks, and mainly use his flames to basically burn his opponents up close and personal in case that long range attack doesn't work. However, he always says that he doesn't need close range fighting style or hand-to-hand combat to fight. All he needs is his firepower, which he's trying to help Izuku come to realization about. Izuku, hearing this, couldn't help but feel like that's just basically going to stunt his growth, especially given the fact that his body completely mimics and echoes his fighting style when he was swordsman style and sword stance back when he was still Clive Rossfield, first shield of Rosaria and former outlaw, and also, well, former god killer as well. But even so, basically ditching mainly focusing on one type of fighting style just because your quirk is, well, more suited for it, doesn't mean you can't improve in another way. Izuku actually now understands the reason why why Endeavor does all the muscle training and strength and tries to increase his body into that of something close to that of a bodybuilder or close to that of All Might, actually. Mainly is a way to not just into a way of intimidating, but in a way in case he needs to use up close in combat. Not that it's necessary. With knowing this, Izuku needed to find other ways to improve and help himself in train, besides just using projectiles all the time. Not only that, Endeavor does do live sparring with that of Izuku as well. Where instead they don't use their quirks at all. However, Izuku, on the other hand, is able to hold his own against Endeavor without even breaking a sweat. Well, at least for a good 5 minutes, given that he's still 10 years old, but able to hold. The only reason he's able to hold his own is because of his former muscle memory, after all, from his past life. It's the only way that he's able to last this long. Even Endeavor is always caught off guard to find out how long Izuku's able to handle just at least 1 or 2 punches from him, even without him using his fires from Hellfire, after all. But even so, it always still ends up the same. Izuku always mutters one thing: if I had a sword, this would be a totally different story. Or better yet, I would prefer if I had to go up close in combat, I'd rather have that of Titan's powers instead. Remember the icon of Earth and Titan in his former dominant, Kufka. Taking a break from sparring once again, with Fuyumi basically patching up Izuku a bit by giving him a few bandages and putting at least that of skin ointment to basically, make sure that the bruises go away a lot more quicker than before. Then she's saying, he really does know how to push you and not know when to hold back. Then Izuku saying, as much as it's possible, I think it's a good thing. It proves on how much I need to reach if I'm going to reach the level of a top 10 pro. Soon, hearing that, a certain male voice coming saying, the way you say it is like you think you're going to reach that level. Hearing this voice coming from that of a young man that looks like he's at least in junior high currently right now, with spiky white hair and a look of somewhat annoyance and kind of disgust as well, but also a tinge of pity too. Oh, hello there, Mr. Natsuo. Saying, just Natsuo, kid. I may be at least a few years older than you. That doesn't mean you have to call me Mister. Saying, right, sorry. Then Fuyumi saying hi to her brother, saying, hey Natsuo, you just finished up your homework? Saying, yeah, I did. It's kind of annoying, to be honest. It's hard to focus when, then looking at Izuku saying, sorry, but then him scoffing saying, it's not your fault, Midoriya, seriously. The hell was that old man thinking, basically bringing in another kid? Seriously, just because Shoto's done basically being his little masterpiece that he wants to, he's now just taking kids off the streets. With then Fuyumi saying, Natsuo! Then Natsuo looking at Izuku saying, oh crap, with then Izuku tilting his head saying, what was that mean? With then Natsuo saying, it's nothing. Within Izuku looking at Fuyumi saying, it's personal family issues. Nothing you need to worry about, Izuku. You just need to focus on handle your quirk. That's all. Within Izuku saying, but I already do know how to handle my quirk though. With then both Todoroki's siblings couldn't help but look at Izuku with that of shock. With then Izuku saying, all I need is a sword, but I'm afraid what Mr. Endeavor would say if I, with then soon, after saying that, saying, give me a minute, just give me a few minutes. As Fuyumi walks away, heading, and then going through that of the hallways, with soon Natsuo saying, you really just need a sword? Saying, yeah, just need a sword, something sturdy and strong enough to handle my flames. It can be either metal or even wood. I know that if I recall, there are some plants that actually take on the characteristics of quirks after all, besides just humans and animals. So I kind of figured, saying, you're a pretty smart kid, saying, I'm told to be a bit of a quirk nerd, actually. And after training a few months with Endeavor, I realized that I'm basically stagnating with just learning how to use long-range attacks. I do better with things more close to close range, if I'm going to be honest. With then, Natsuo couldn't help but lean back for a bit before looking at Izuku saying, you already know yourself even before the old man does. I'm quite impressed. Now only if you had the backbone to just tell him off. Just like me and Shoto. With then, Izuku saying, right, the brother younger than you. What's he like? I never got to meet him. With then saying, he's been through a lot, actually. Not just him, but another sibling of ours. Oh, right, the eldest one. The one that Miss Fuyumi told me about. I kind of wandered around the house a bit during taking a break from sparring with Endeavor, and I kind of found a shrine. Was it? Yeah, that's to him. It's more. I always wondered why the hell did he even bother making a shrine for him if he didn't even give a damn about him. Probably a way to remind himself not to get too attached to all of his defects. With then Izuku looking down saying, I don't think you guys are like that. I think you're nice people. Honestly, I think you're all free to just do whatever you want. I may not understand the situation, but with then soon, Natsuo saying, maybe that's a good thing you don't. You just saying things like that, just trying to cheer us up without any context is good enough. You're a good person, Midoriya. Never forget that. With then, after saying those words, Izuku couldn't help but smile, as he hasn't been treated much like a person in a long time now. But the Todoroki siblings, at least two of them, have been at least somewhat kind and nice to him, and he can't help but appreciate it quite a bit. As Natsuo was about to leave, Fuyumi soon brushes past him, almost knocking Natsuo over, saying, whoa, what the hell, sis? Within, bringing something on that at the table, it almost looks like that's of a giant wooden bakken, actually. With Izuku couldn't help but be shocked and surprised looking at this. Within, Fuyumi saying, I remember seeing this a bit when I was cleaning around the house. When I asked Dad about it, he told me that it used to be something he used to train his flames with. A way to see on how much he can push them without seeing if the wood can get splintered or burned, actually. He never said he would need to use a weapon in combat. It kind of just basically, he says that he doesn't need support gear to show on how strong he is. Within, Natsuo saying, just proves on how arrogant and self-entitled he is. Within, Izuku just placing a hand on that of the wooden somewhat looking sword. as within basically just placing his fingers on it, saying, "This wood, isn't this Katakoki wood? It's supposed to be a special type of wood that withstands any type of flames up to that of 500 Fahrenheit. That's quite much. It also depends on what they use to coat the wood as well to keep it in shape, and to how hard and to how hot the flames are. It's a lot more sturdier than your typical type of wood." With then soon she's saying, "Wow, you really do know your stuff. If anything, whoever your teachers are, they had to be quite impressed with your grades." With then Izuku saying, "Not too much, actually. Even though I now have my quirk, a few of my teachers still somewhat write me off. Not only that, there are some teachers that saw the news about several months back when I awakened it, and kind of see me as that of a future villain. Even a few of my classmates as well." With then hearing this, the siblings couldn't help but feel somewhat bad for Izuku. With Fuyumi wanting to comfort Izuku, placing her hand on his, as Izuku began to blush, seeing the older girl basically, placing her hand on his. But then she trying to give that of a comforting smile, saying, "Don't worry. If you like, while Dad's still training you, we can be your friends, right, Natsuo?" With then, Natsuo couldn't help but sigh, but give that of a smile, saying, "Yeah, why not? I got nothing wrong with being friends with somebody younger than me." Within hearing all this, Izuku couldn't help but tear up, realizing that he has more friends now, that he doesn't just have to rely on Mizuki after all. With tears began coming down the greenette's eyes. However, little did anybody know, turns out their conversation was being heard from that of a certain heterochromatic and dual-haired boy with that of a look of pure, unadulterated rage. A week later, soon, Mizuki actually came to spar with that, came to train his quirk after all. During these few months, Mizuki actually gotten a better feel of his flames. Turns out he can actually switch his flames over. On one hand, he can use one flame to burn enemies, while on another hand, he can use that flame to heal others. Basically showing a differentiation on that of his flames, giving him that of a better control over them. For example, for his right hand, he uses his flames to burn his enemies. On his left hand, he can use them to heal his allies. Not only that, he also began to take up at least a little bit of self-taught sword training, mainly from advice from that of Izuku, but also a part of him basically telling him that he should, just in case, as well. With Mizuki on the side, seeing Endeavor and Izuku like they're about to fight each other. Within, Endeavor noticing that of the wooden boken he used to help with that of controlling his flames better. Within saying, "So, I figure Fuyumi would give that thing to you." Within saying, "So you figured as much too." Within, Endeavor saying, "I told you I'm only here to help you get a better control over your quirk. I'm not here to basically just teach you everything I know. If it doesn't fit you, it doesn't fit you. And if you can find your own style even at this age, then you got potential. Now, show me it." Then, soon, after screaming that, soon flames begin to emerge from that of Endeavor, showing that of his flaming beard and flames coming from that of his arms, proving that he doesn't plan on holding back this time. Well, still holding back, but at least not to the same degree as before. But then, Izuku, preparing that of his flames as the dominant of Ifrit, crossed that of the wooden sword, as then the flames coating the blade like it's that of a part of it, would soon setting that of a burst of fire towards that of Izuku, with Izuku rushing towards it. However, with that of a coating the flames across that of his feet, he soon slides on that of the wooden floor before sliding towards that of Endeavor, with one powerful fiery thrust towards the number 2 pro, with Endeavor dodging out of the way like not even trying, as he was about to slam his fiery fist down onto Izuku, with Izuku leaning back before using that of the wooden sword and coating it in flames before slashing it down on Endeavor's arm. Within, basically, even though that his skin basically is able to withstand his fire after all, given the constitution of his quirk, it still hurts like that of a pain in the ass, especially given that Izuku is able to swing on using that of something so big as that of that wooden sword so easily with just one hand. But even so, Endeavor doesn't stop there, as he soon kicks Izuku away, with sending him flying into that of the wall, before then however, on that of pure instincts, he recovers, using that of the wooden boken into the ground, trying to catch him, trying to stop himself from flying backwards even more than before. Within, Izuku having that of a smile, before standing back on his feet, flipping the sword back to the side, as he soon pointed at Endeavor, saying, "Shall we continue?" Within, soon, Endeavor basically wanting to say, "Cocky little brat." Before noticing Izuku, he's soon saying, "No, we'll stop here. Hey, you, heal your brother already." Within, soon, Izuku completely caught off guard, as for Mizuki, hearing the words from the number 2 pro, basically did he just listen and head straight for Izuku. Within saying, "Hey, what are you talking about? I can still..." Within, slumping down onto the ground as he begins to cough, before saying, "That kick I hit you with, I was meant to holding it back, but I guess on instinct and reflexes, I basically tensed up a lot more than before than I should have. And if I'm just doing it on pure instinct now, then that means you're getting a lot stronger. For a 10-year-old brat, you really are something else." Walking out of the training studio while Mizuki is healing that of Izuku, within Endeavor looking back at the 2 twins, saying, "You, other Midoriya brat, I'll train you how to use your flames a lot more better. Also, Mizuki, seeing your flames, I can actually help you improve your long-range capabilities, since it seems your flames are more compatible with my style of fighting. So I'll help you with that. As for you, Izuku, I'll train you on how to. I'm going to see on how you're able to transform. You got the basics on how to use your flame properly. Whatever that fighting style you use, it seems like you know it inside and out. Now we're going to see on how you're able to transform using your flames. You better not disappoint me." After saying that, he soon slides the door. Within, Izuku couldn't help but slump up to the bit before saying, "Transforming is basically me semi-priming." Within, Mizuki saying, "Semi-priming? It sounds pretty cool. But to be honest, you still haven't figured it out?" Saying, "No, I haven't. It's such a pain in the ass." Saying, "Also, does he not know about your..." Within, pointing as Mizuki pointing at that of Izuku's back. Within saying, No, he doesn't. And I'd like to keep it that way, Mizuki." Saying, "What? Why? He's Endeavor. He's helping you." Saying, as much as I appreciate Endeavor helping me, part of me can't trust him. Not as much as I used to, given everything that I've heard from that of Fuyumi and Natsuo." With then, hearing this from his brother, Mizuki saying, "What do you mean?" As Izuku was wanting to tell his brother, but it's not his place to tell. It's, if anything, it's for them to say, not for him. He promised that he would keep the secret, and that's exactly what he's going to do. With then, soon shaking his head saying, "It's not important. Not right now. All I'm just going to do is focus on using the power of the Phoenix for myself on my own time when I'm not here. So, and with your help, I'm improving quite a bit. But then Mizuki saying, I still think you should tell Endeavor. He's a great fire pro. So saying, again, it's my own business and I like to keep it that way. But then now longer feeling the pain on his chest, saying, thanks, bro. But then Mizuki smiling, saying, anytime, bro. As the two leave that of the training room and heading off to at least get something to drink before they start training, they soon run into that of the same boy from before, this being Shoto Todoroki. The dual-haired style being that from white and red, and his heterochromatic eyes going from that of gray to blue to basically piercing blue, as he looks at both Mizuki and Izuku with that of looks of pure utter disgust and hatred. Within suit, Izuku saying, "Oh, hi there, Shoto." Within Mizuki basically bowing his head, saying, "Hello there, Todoroki. It's a pleasure." Within Shoto, not even bother acknowledging them, basically just basically moves past them without even saying anything. Within soon, Mizuki saying, "He's always like this when we're here." Within, Mizuki saying, "If you could understand the reason why, I wouldn't blame him. I just hope that he doesn't continue holding himself back, though." With that, Izuku walks off. Within, Mizuki saying, "Holding himself back? What do you mean? Hey, Izuku!" With that, Izuku's training and from that of the number 2 pro continues on, even more than before. But however, little did Izuku and Mizuki know that this interaction would basically cause this boy, Shoto Todoroki, to despise the 2 brothers with every fiber of his body. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I'd love to read them. So, how did you guys like this part? Yeah, Endeavor is training Izuku to handle his flames of Ifrit, but not his flames of the Phoenix. He's doing that alone with that of Mizuki. If they can find out that he has that of the wings of the Phoenix, well, I think you guys can tell on how that would go, especially with the HPSC. Just wait until more and more of the dominance powers awaken within Izuku. Shit's about to get real. As for his relation with the Todoroki family, mainly with that of Fuyumi and Natsuo, on the other hand, things are a lot more. Izuku actually has that of 2 friends. Sure, they're older than him, but better than nothing. Also, if you guys remember, I put up a poll asking on who should I ship Izuku with in this story, alongside that of Mizuki. And you all said Fuyumi Todoroki. So yeah, he's going to be shipped with Fuyumi. And for all those who complain about, well, he shouldn't be shipped with her, she's older, let me make this abundantly fucking clear for you dumbasses. Japan's laws of consent is at the age of 14. Though when canon rolls around, they'll be both at the legal age. But that will be a while until then anyway, so we don't have to worry about that. As for Mizuki, well, you guys saw on who's going to be shipped with him too. I'll bring it up probably in the next part. Any rate, so if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification to keep to date my videos when I upload on the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, my gaming channel, my side channel, my other channel, my Patreon, and my Cash App. All linked in the description below. So, with all that said, this is Leon Mookie, signing out. Later guys, and hope you all take care. Take it away, Shiro.
Hi everyone, this is White Fox. If you liked Leon's video, click the video on the left to see the most recent one. And if you want to see more of this, click the subscribe button and notification bell and check out his playlists. If you still haven't subscribed, do so in the center. With that said, I hope to see you again on my love's channel. Bye!